guys, it's John Barrett on Level Up Your Leadership, where we are going to give you visual leadership lessons to help you get better, improve, and be the best version of yourself so you can lead at the highest level. I want to talk to you guys today about the black dot. Now think about this for a minute. If you look at this white canvas right here, and I put this on the canvas, tell me what you see. Now, when I do this for live audiences and that, most people obviously say, I see a black dot. And this is true. There is a black dot on the canvas. What's interesting is that nobody ever says, well, I see 99% of white space, opportunity, just a blank canvas to do anything you want. No, what does everybody see? They see the black dot. And this is exactly how negativity works when it comes to people, when it comes to us, when it comes to our organization. We are programmed to just see the black dots in life. We see all the problems, all the challenges all the time. They're the things that stick out the most. Nobody talks about the white space. We just look at kind of the dot that's on that white space. And that's exactly how negativity works. In fact, we call it the law of negativity. Here's what can happen. If 10 things happen that you were a part of, that you're doing, and listen to this. If 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 things go right, they're good. And we think, okay, 9 things went right. One thing goes wrong. What do we focus on the whole time? The one thing that went wrong. Right? That is our whole focus right there. I mean, we just get inundated by it. We get discouraged by it. We get depressed by it. We get frustrated by it. We get fixated on it. And we think, gosh, we miss all the 9 things that went good. And we focus on the one thing that went wrong. And I don't know why we do this. I mean, I think in some ways we're programmed to just look at problems and that. In fact, I think growing up in our education system and what we do, we just tell everybody to look at problems and solve problems and find out what's wrong and fix it. And we just program that way. But we're not programmed to look at all the opportunities and the good things. So what happens is over time we get fixated on that one thing and it becomes our whole focus. And here's what happens with negativity. When you get fixated on the black dot, the one problem, the one thing that may have gone wrong, then you don't even think about the things that have gone right. Here's what happens over time. What you begin to dwell on, what you begin to look at, guess what? It actually gets bigger, right? I mean, it just grows. It's like the Blob, right? Remember that old show on TV? I can remember growing up and watching the movie The Blob, and how frightening was that little glob of stuff, right? And all of a sudden it just kept getting bigger and bigger, and it was overtaking the town and eating people and all that crazy stuff, right? That's how negativity works. It's the Blob. And when you start to focus on it, and you focus on that one thing and you fixate on the negative, what happens is it just begins to get bigger, and then it feeds more into it, and it gets bigger and bigger and bigger. And I'm telling you, this is what I see with a lot of organizations. They're not focused on what's going right. They're not focused on their strengths, what they're doing well to win in the marketplace, to win in their purpose and their mission and what they're doing. All they're looking at is what's going wrong, and they're discouraged. Listen, if you lead a team, if you're a leader over a team, you've got to help them focus on what's going right. That doesn't mean that we ignore what's going wrong. Yeah, we got to fix problems. We got to solve problems. That's what we do. But we have to make sure that we help people focus on what's right, on what is going well. Because when you have a team and you're leading a group of people, I'm telling you, this isn't a negative statement. I'm not a negative person. I'm a pretty positive guy. But I'm telling you, this happens in 20 years of doing leadership coaching with organizations. Here's what happens. If you don't get a hold of it, and you don't control the narrative, and you don't reprogram people's minds, not only yourself, but others, and I don't mean that like brainwashing or something crazy, but help them reprogram for success. If you don't do that, then what's going to happen is all the eyes in the organization, right here, that guy had 3 eyes, that's weird. We'll just call it his nose. All the eyes in the organization, guess where they're going to go? Right here. They're going to go to what's wrong. It's just natural. That's what we do. We fix things. But here's the deal. As a leader, if you're over here and you're leading your team, Here's what you've got to do. You've got to help point them to what's going right. Help them see so that they can also look at all the good things that are going on. You've got to do it, because if you don't, then their eyes are going to be fixed on the problem, and guess what? Over time, it's going to get bigger, bigger, and so forth. So how do you do that as a leader? Here's what you need to do. Here's some practical tips. When you're in meetings, you need to take advantage of every time you're with your team and talk about the wins. W-I-N-S. Where are you winning? What are the wins in your organization? For the week, for the month, for the year, whatever it is, for the day. Say, hey, just real quick before we get started, I want to let everybody know some good things that have taken place. Hey, we got a great client testimony from this and what happened. Hey, we closed this deal. Hey, I want you to know that the process that we've been doing, we've had some kinks in it, but I'm telling you, it's helping us be more productive. Let's look at a few things. Point their eyes. Talk about the wins. I mean, point everything to the wins in your organization, even if you don't have very many. You may say, John, it's backwards. We get one thing right and 9 things are going wrong. Well, listen, point to the one thing at least that's going right. Talk about the wins in the organization, not just the losses. Nobody wants to be part of a team where you're only talking about how you're losing. Because over time, people will get discouraged, they'll get depressed, they'll start just jumping ship and saying, you know what, I don't want to be a part of this anymore. All of a sudden, you'll find yourself alone in the wilderness because your team has just focused on the negative. They feel like they're losing and they're ready to go. You focus on the good. And yes, you address the wrongs and you fix it and you work on it, but you always point to the rights and you get people focused on it over time. Let me tell you a quick story. Babe Ruth, the famous Bambino slugger, right? The phenomenal home run record breaker, Babe Ruth. And early in his career, the year that he broke the home run record, I mean, he was the Bambino slugger. He just swung for the fence. And the year that he broke the record for most home runs, guess what he also broke a record for? The most strikeouts in the exact same year. That's a true story. Now, nobody remembers Babe Ruth for all the strikeouts that he did. No, they don't remember him for that. They remember him for all the things that he did do right. Now, imagine if you were Babe Ruth. It could have been easy when you got up to the plate and thought, wow, I've been striking out a lot here. I better kind of bring it down a little bit. I better focus on all my strikeouts and maybe play it safe. But he didn't. He would just get up and swing for the fence because he knew when he got it right, it would be right. And it would go over that fence and hit a home run. And he kept himself focused on the wins, on what was right, and it allowed him to break the record rather than just playing it safe, always focusing on what's wrong. So listen, the Babe Ruth effect, think about that in your own life. Think about it for the team that you're leading. Are you focused on the home runs and talking about those? Or are you just focused on all the strikeouts, playing it safe, getting discouraged, and now just living to survive, not living to thrive in the success zone? So think about this. Get people to focus on the opportunity, not just the black dot. If you do that, you're going to start to lead a team that the morale is going to go up. They're going to be more effective, more successful in what they do. Guys, I hope this was helpful. Go check out johnbarrettleadership.com for more resources, for more books, and all kinds of podcasts and other things that I've got over there, johnbarrettleadership.com.
Reach out to us today so we can help take you and your team to the next level.